Okay, I'm back. So it's been a minute since I made a video besides the breaking down celebrity birth chart video. So I wanted to start this new thing, and that's basically breaking down my experiences with each zodiac sign. I wish I would have thought about this earlier because I'm starting at the end. We on Sagittarius, but it is what it is. I'll just start from here going forward. So I basically want to give my experiences with each zodiac sign, what I know about each zodiac sign, and kind of like my own opinion and breakdown of each zodiac sign. So of course, some zodiac signs I know and have interacted with more than others, of course, but I have had some type of relationship with each zodiac sign. So I can't speak on each zodiac sign. It's just some signs I can speak on more than others. So yeah, but Sagittarius is a sign that I know probably top five, top three actually. I know a lot of Sagittarius. I had a female best friend for over 10 years who was a Sagittarius. I've dated three or four Sagittarius seriously. Um, my cousin is a Sagittarius. Trying to think who else. Yeah, that's probably it. But like, yeah, I've seriously dated three or four Sagittarius. I had a female Sagittarius best friend, and my cousin is a Sagittarius. And then I'm a Aquarius. So of course, Sagittarius is one of the most compatible signs with us. So of course, I naturally get along with them. And then a lot of Sagittarius celebrities I actually like some of my favorite people. So, which I'm gonna get into, but yeah, so getting into Sagittarius, all things Sagittarius, and breaking down all things Sagittarius. So, and my experiences and stuff. So, my experiences with Sagittarius have been, for the most part, good. Like I said, I had a female best friend who was a Sagittarius. Most Sagittarius that I dated and talked to, we always got a good relationship because Aquarius and Sagittarius, I do feel like really can be best friends. Aries and Aquarius also can be best friends, but so can Sagittarius because they really speak the same language and they can really understand each other. Because the Sagittarius is they a lot for a lot of people like water signs. Even though I know a lot of Sagittarius who have dealt with a Scorpio, or a Pisces, but they usually always say the same thing that they usually don't work. It's usually just like a sexual relationship or something like that. It's usually not like they compatible. They just with each other out of convenience or something like that. But that's why they usually do need a air sign or a fire sign because they so blunt and straightforward that water signs and then some earth signs not going to be able well, water signs not gonna be able to take how blunt and direct they is. They can hurt a water sign feelings. And then with earth signs, they not stable enough. Fire signs is too all over the place and too erratic for a stable earth sign. They more so meant for fire signs because the fire signs understand them and just got that same passion as they do. And air signs also can keep up with them because you know air ignites fire. So that's what it really can be for real. So I feel like Sagittarius really, I'm trying to think. Well, I'm gonna stick on my experience with Sagittarius. So, like I said, most of my experience with Sagittarius have been good. I've got along with most Sagittarius. We always have like a good friendship. Me personally, with Sagittarius, like I said, they always make good friends because I respect their blunt and straightforwardness. As an Aquarius, some signs can't deal with it, but I respect somebody who's blunt and honest because I'm blunt and honest. And then, of course, Aquarius and Sagittarius both share that they love their freedom and independence. So that's why they can get along also because they both not clingy people. So they won't be all up in each other's face. They won't be overly clingy to each other. They can really kind of understand each other. Then they like to laugh and tell jokes and stories. So they really get that along with each other also. So that's why I said for the most part, I do get along with Sagittarius. My bad experience, because getting into, okay, I guess why like I fell out with like my Sagittarius friend before, or I have like got out of relationships with the Sagittarius that I've dated. Like the problems that I have noticed with Sagittarius is that, of course, their fear of commitment. So it's always a problem with the Aquarius and the Sagittarius if like one of y'all do want a relationship and then there has or something serious because that has happened before. Because it get to a point, where we dating for like a year or something. So it's like, where's this going? So that can be a problem to where Sagittarius, like you can't really pin them down. So there's never really no relationship for real. So it's always like a friendship or like a friend with benefits. Like it's never like gonna go towards like marriage or something serious. So that's always kind of a problem with a lot of Sagittarius, even though there is some Sagittarius who is married. But most of the time, the Sagittarius who married is either they get married when they older, like Nicki Minaj did, or they with somebody who basically let them grow. So they can be with somebody, but the relationship might have ups and downs. They might break up or something like that, or they just find somebody who they just connect with early. Other stuff besides the zodiac, it matters about their moon sign, their Venus. They might have a Venus in Taurus or Virgo, or like a Venus in the Earth sign or a moon in the Earth sign. The rest of their chart might be Earth or something more stable that makes them want to be in a relationship or married. So you got to take that in mind. But somebody who has like they chart is mostly fire or mostly fire and air, for the most part, they not going to be trying to be in a relationship or married, especially if it's a man. I'm talking about women. So, men is even harder to commit and tie down than it is women, but then women is like that too. But they more liable to commit than the men is, obviously, for that reason. So that always be a problem. Of course, Sagittarius, like they know for being players and dating a lot of people. The only thing with Sagittarius is that they more blunt and straightforward. They're not like a Pisces or a Scorpio where they're going to sneak around and do stuff. They more so will just keep it open. Like that's why they don't get into relationships because they don't want to, because they know that they hoes. Not all, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like they know that they like to date other people and sleep around and stuff. So they're not going to get into a relationship. They more like, logical and more instead of trying to have their cake and eat it too and sneak and cheat like a lot of people do. With Sagittarius would just tell you straight up, we not in a relationship, we just fucking or we just friends, basically. So that's the thing with them. So that's cool that you understand, but it's still the same point that you know that if you're dealing with Sagittarius, you're probably not the only person that they talking to. So of course that can rub a lot of people the wrong way. And then sometimes they blunt and straightforwardness can be too much, even though people like that. It's hard hearing the truth or the blunt, honest truth. Sometimes it can still make you mad or make you in your feelings. So that's also a problem. Um, with Sagittarius that I done ran into. And then sometimes they can just be careless. That's the main reason why I think that I got into it with Sagittarius. And like probably my main time is that sometimes they can just not care about people's feelings. They just do what they want to do where they can. That's the thing with fire signs too, is that they impulsive. So Sagittarius can do something impulsively that can, hurt their partner or their friendship, not even thinking. The same for Aries is like that a lot too, to where like they just do stuff and don't think about the repercussions or they don't think about the consequences of their actions. And like I always say, I can't end the video without saying this because I say this all the time about Sagittarius, is that their biggest strength is also their biggest weakness, and that's their optimism. It's the fact that they optimistic, so of course it's good because they always looking on the bright side. That's why Sagittarius is usually never down. I never really seen a truly depressed down Sagittarius for real. They usually upbeat because they're optimistic, but their optimism usually makes them have a grass is greener mentality, and they don't prepare for failure. That's what happened. They don't think about what can go wrong. They just do stuff without thinking, and then they can find themselves in a situation to where they just, it's just all messed up because they were just thinking about the good and they wasn't prepared for the bad. So that's why we say Sagittarius' biggest strength is also their biggest weakness. So yeah, I ain't gonna make it too long. That's, my experience with Sagittarius, my thoughts on Sagittarius. They not for everybody. When you look at like a Skip Bayless, a lot of Sagittarius, like they not, but Nicki Minaj, like they not for everybody. You know, like but they the truth. Like everybody say, I want somebody blunt, I want somebody truthful. The Sagittarius will give you that. So, you know, you got to be careful what you ask for. Then, of course, like they wild beasts. So, like I said, most of the time, a lot of Sagittarius, not all, but can be out there. You know, like when it comes to sexual, having sex with a lot of people, dating a lot of people, being players, a lot of them is the men and women really is like that. So they're not really the most committed sign. So if you looking for something serious or you know something deep, you might not be able to get that to a Sagittarius, especially a young Sagittarius. 'Cause like I said, as they get older, they kind of mature, but the young ones, you know, can be kind of wild. Then, like I said, a lot of Sagittarius, like they do say, can have a gambling problem. I even noticed that with Sagittarius moons. I know a couple of people with Sagittarius moons who huge gamblers, like Michael Jordan is an Aquarius with a Sagittarius moon, and we know that he loves to gamble. So yeah, you also keep that in mind. But for the most part, Sagittarius is one of my most compatible signs and one of my favorite signs, me being an Aquarius. So I usually get along with them well, and I know how they is. Once you know how to go into it, once you know like it ain't gonna be that much emotions, y'all just having fun. You know, it might not be no commitment and stuff like that. And with being Aquarius, we the same. So that's why I kind of click. Like I said, for water signs, earth signs, I can see it really not working with a Sagittarius for real. So that's all things about Sagittarius and my thoughts about Sagittarius. I just wanted to, you know, start this new series because I haven't really did nothing besides talking about the birth chart. So yeah, that's, you know, shout out to all the Sagittarius. Y'all one of my favorite signs. Got some of my favorite people. Is Sagittarius. You know, they're real funny. That's another thing. Sagittarius is one of the most funniest signs too, and talented. Like Jamie Foxx is a good example of Sagittarius because he's the true Sagittarius. Like he's real talented, real funny, and things like that. So, yeah.